So I'm not in it. But the only way I'm going to say the things I'm going to say is if you promise it has nothing to do with the game and you're not going to tell anybody else.
Absolutely.
Promise?
Yes, I promise.
I
promise.
Just so that you know, and because this is what I just discovered, and what I would want to know if I was in your shoes. So, right now, you're at a crossroads with your opportunities and who you would potentially be sharing the house with for however long.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at everybody in the house as people and individuals.
Me too.
Not as commodities.
I agree.
Well, not as part of a strategy. Whereas, like, okay, this person is expendable. This person is athletic. This person is game oriented.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
All right, good. So, looking at it from that perspective and who you would be able to share a residence with, because the game and us playing competitions and stuff is very small amount of time that we actually spend doing that. Most of the time is just us living together.
Yeah.
And that's where things get ugly, where it's like, you left my laundry out, whatever.
The little things.
Yeah, who can you sit down and eat a meal with? Who can you spend potentially the next 2 months with?
Yeah.
So, also, from my perspective, getting to know these people and finally getting to know and talk to Swaggy, I would say that you are sending out the lesser threat.
I agree.
I think Winston should leave. I think that
Would
Winston...
you vote against him?
No, I'm not saying anything that has to do with game stuff. And I know who voted to keep me. Listen, let me finish.
Yeah.
I'm talking about strictly as an individual. Forget the grouping that's happened so far, because it might not stay.
Right.
So, realistically, there is some sway in Swaggy.
I know.
There's some heartstring opportunity. He's emotionally intelligent. He's feeling, and
he's an unbelievable person.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as far as being able to convince him or being able to work with him is going to be much easier than Winston.
I'm aware.
And Winston is very solid with, like you said, Rachel, Brett, Angela thing. And then Winston and Swaggy have so much in common, it's scary. Now that I just got to talk to Swaggy, and I think I'm a little bit behind on all this, so if you already know this, just humor me and listen. But I feel like Swaggy and Winston are both really, really caught up in strategizing and stressing out and trying to fake stuff, and it doesn't seem genuine, and they're both trying to be intimidating, and they're both just sucking right now.
Totally.
So, but down the road and outside of this, living with somebody and working with somebody to eventually move past that person, Swaggy would be the easier of the two to do that with.
I know.
Winston would turn around and send you home in a minute. He's looking at you as an expendable commodity and probably already has a plan in his mind for getting rid of you or for shutting you down if you have an idea. I can totally see that, and I've lived with men like him. The truth is, I like him. He's very clean, he cooks, but he's only fun when he's around Brett.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
When he's just by himself, he's struggling, because he's
to find his identity a little bit.
Yeah, and because he's so unwavering and determined, and he's trying to hide it, and at the same time trying not to hide it. I don't know what he's doing. But as far as if I'm picturing you winning, I want you to win. You should keep Swaggy and send Winston home.
I can't do that though because
I know
of
you
the
can't.
votes. Like
Right.
that would have to mean that like people vote differently. Like that would have to mean that like you vote to keep Swaggy. That would mean that JC would have to vote to keep Swaggy. That would mean Tyler would. Right now the people that are going to vote for Swaggy to stay are Bailey, Haley, Fessy, Rockstar, and Scotty. That's 5. They need one more. And if it's Tyler, if let's say Tyler does that vote, then I pull the tie breaker. If they do 2, I don't need to pull the tie. And to be honest with you, Sam, it's like the amount of times I've thought about it, it's like, sure, the whole idea was for me to backdoor Swaggy, but like, it could be really cool for America to see that Swaggy, you know, broke through the miscommunication. He opened his heart to me. He was vulnerable. He literally straight up said to me, like, Kaitlyn, like, I'm gonna have to go back to, like, literally the streets. Like, do you know how hard that is?
I just had this conversation with him, and where I saw the real Swaggy. And so that's
It's
what
tough.
well, no, but that's what I'm saying. After finally having a conversation with him, the choice in my eyes is very clear. If you look at it from a game perspective, if you look at it from a personable perspective, it's always going to be hard. But from what I'm learning, like I'm learning this whole thing on the fly. I'm just making it up as I go, one day at a
The only
time.
thing, though, that scares me about keeping him is that, like, there's no more group anymore. Like, I still
Exactly.
don't trust the group.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't want a group yet.
I don't, but they have one.
No, they don't.
They do. The 4 of them have one.
Realistically, oh, you mean Winston?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying get rid of that, and then they're all open again.
But you'd have to not vote for him. Like, you'd have to vote for Swaggy to stay.
And then,
Like, I don't get to vote. Like, this is.
I know. So in that case, if I voted for Swaggy to stay and Winston left, it would be a lot like what you did for me.
I know, it really would.
But
But I still have to talk to Tyler, because Tyler.
I feel like Tyler is masterminding the whole thing. But what I really want to convey to you is I feel like Tyler is the male mastermind right now, and you're the female mastermind. And if I was wanting you to win,
Dusty's coming outside.
or Tyler, either one of you,
Yeah.
the easier person to work with and then beat would be Swaggy.
And also.
Originally, I thought that it was Winston. I am very wrong. Winston is the bigger threat.
I agree.
Winston is a fucking brick wall.
I agree.
And he does not give a fuck about anybody in
I
here.
know. And also, with Swaggy, like, he swore on his, like, grandfather's grave that, I'm sorry, his father's grave, that, like, he would forgive me, and, like, for whoever voted to keep him, like, he would keep them safe, and I know he's telling his word. So although the house doesn't need to know that you were a vote, like, he will, and you'll always be safe with him. And he showed a side to me that I wish I saw earlier.
I said those exact words. And you know what I told him? I said, when you go to bed tonight, Swaggy, I said, I want you to completely forget the past 20 days. I said, I want you to wake up brand new, as if it were the first day you walked in here.
Yeah.
And I said, I want you to come in here and meet everybody again for the first time. Do this whole thing over, because it might be all you get. And I said, I want you to be Sunshine Swaggy. I was like, this person that I see right here, the real you, I want you to introduce him to everybody. Because it's not what I saw. And I told him exactly what I saw. I said, the bandana thing, the not caring, the super intimidating, all that stuff. I said, I could not even approach you. I was like, I still tried, and I complimented you and said hi, but I thought for sure you are way too determined. You are way too gung-ho. You are a loner. You do not want shit to do with me. And he's like, you're right. And he's like, I was all about the game. And he's like, because it means so much to me. I said, it's a fine line. I said, you can't be all game and no personable like he's doing. You can't be all personable and no game like I'm doing. And I told him like this. I said, you play sports. Like, you're a basketball player and you want to be a good sport. And he says, if somebody sends me home, I want to look them in the eye and shake their hand.
Yeah,
And I'm
like,
you want to be a good sport. I said, everybody calls this a game. This is not a game.